let's go ahead and jump into the next fandom thing that we're going to argue about. So I'm probably just going to start this off and then shut up for probably the rest of it. We have Star Wars: The Bad Batch. Uh, Jason, please tell us about Star Wars: The Bad Batch and your thoughts.
I mean, like this season was really, really good. Like it ended pretty coolly. Like
Mhm.
the whole
Right, Cooley.
coolly is a word, and I'm going to use it. So fuck
Yeah.
off.
Right, fair enough. Oh,
It's
it's a-
AAVE. All right.
yeah, sure. It's about how
Yeah,
this year.
like there's a lot of callbacks. Like Dave Filoni is like rewriting all the canon from the Legends back into canon, and he's doing it very deftly and like in a very entertaining way. Like I don't know the name of the mountain where the stormtroopers come from, but that's like important in the Thrawn trilogy. I mean, he's already brought back Thrawn in
Yeah.
Rebels. Like he is setting it up. I don't understand why this dude is not the executive producer over Star Wars because he's the only one that knows how to do Star Wars right, in my opinion. Like even though Jaren hates the animation style, like a lot of this stuff that he gives us is so good and wonderful, and even like seeing that hollowed out mountain for the first time as the ships pull up is beautiful to me. And it's like this season where they actually hash it out with Crosshair. Yeah, I mean, like, and like, it's like you guys abandoned me, man. Like, and we could just be a part of something bigger than ourselves. What's what we were designed to do. And they're like, yo, like they're kind of lying to you. They're just gonna leave you here to die, and like that.
Mhm.
And then Omega coming in, it's like, yo, we're all like the same. We're a family. We're gonna come back for you, even though you're gonna try to kill us, and all the other good stuff. And it's like it's so well done. The characterization, like Omega, could have been easily like an annoying little girl character, like
Ahsoka.
that. Like, well, beginning of episode because they
Yes.
do
Oh,
this
yes.
well. They know what they're fucking doing. Because they start off, oh, she's gonna be annoying as fuck, and then they give her character development and character growth, and you realize, oh, that's what they're gonna do all along, and it's so good. Like, Bad Batch is another thing you should put in if you are a Star Wars fan. You should put this into your Star Wars must watch list, along with Clone Wars, along with Rebels. Uh,
Mhm.
the other one, the pilot show, Resistance, you
Yeah,
could just
skip
throw that away.
resistance. Don't do
Throw that
resistance.
away. But
Don't do resistance.
Dave Filoni has always been a very competent and very astute storyteller, and it just shows in this show. I mean, in every show that he does, it shows. But this one is just more good stuff. So that's what I
Yeah,
feel about the whole series.
I'm going to kind of echo Jason in this one because Bad
Oh,
Batch is good. The only, and it wasn't even,
you're letting me in this? Okay.
yeah, I'm gonna echo Jason on that one. But the only issue, and it wasn't even an issue, the only thing that was concerning to me for Bad Batch was I felt like Omega's ability to help them solve their issues so early in the show kind of nerfed the Bad Batch as a group. Now I know they were going through impossible situations, but they were built to be like that's the team you get for impossible situations because they just have their direct skill sets. But I understand you had to do that to build Omega, so I get it. So that's why I was kind of like I was being pulled both ways for probably the first 6, 7 episodes, and because even when she would make her mistakes, and then you would see the team like figure it out and fix it and X, Y, and Z. But then later on, when she started being pretty much a part of the team, it was some things they wouldn't have got by if she didn't do what she did. And I felt like I felt like she should have been an afterthought and still showed how dominant the team was. But then it cleans itself up at the end because the team is still dominant at the end with her on there, but with or without her. So it took me through this roller coaster because I'm like, oh, I don't like the way she keeps messing this stuff up for them. And why do they keep letting her come out and do things and she's just fucking up? And then it was like, oh no, she's competent as hell. It was like, I guess the bounty hunter episode where she escapes the like, I'm like, oh, she's competent as hell. She's getting it. And then it's like, oh, well, she's on these missions with them. And if she wasn't there, they probably wouldn't have succeeded. That's not a good plan to have a kid be your linchpin to get out of here.
Technically, she's older than them.
Well, yeah, again, but I mean, she still doesn't have the battle experience they have. So, but then it's like at the end, it's like, oh, they are still a good team and they still handle their business. It just this is the way you develop a character, and because I don't see that very much in places that we watch now, it threw me off for a while. It took me a while to get used to what they were trying to do because most shows and TV don't build characters. They just let character X get power B, and then he's off running to C. So that was pretty dope. That's why But at the end of the day, like Dave, we talked about Dave Filoni, and I'm not going to go too far on it. I just want to point out some of the things that he did kind of fix that if people didn't notice. So if you noticed in that whole thing that one destroying the clones being made leads to the human stormtroopers that we go into later on. Great move, because people wondered if you had the clones, why did you switch? Yeah. Well, now we know in canon why we switched, because it was already done in Legacy, but we know in canon now. Also, I don't know if you noticed that the clones had like little clone vials that looked like Snoke almost in the vial. I don't know if you noticed that in the final one. I think it's the second to last episode. So I'm assuming that they were experimenting with cloning other things and other situations, which I think eventually led to Snoke. Also, if you add in the Mandalorian, again, Dave Filoni helped out with that too, where they were taking M cells, or the dreaded word we don't want to hear, metachlorian cells, taking them, and I think they were injecting the clones with that, because that was the whole thing why they wanted Gogrug or Baby Yoda, was because they wanted his M count. So I think they wanted to use that to inject the clones with. So now all this Snoke thing does not justify the movies. It does make more sense. It does answer some of the questions if you're paying attention that a lot of people weren't. I remember I wrote it down in my notes, like in scribble, like, oh shit, that's a Snoke clone. Like, because that's what they were leading to. So
he's basically doing with the Bad Batch in the Mandalorian for the new movies what he did for the prequels, which was actually take all the bullshit in it and explain it in good and relevant ways.
Absolutely. But yeah, I think it's just a good freaking series. They do this ensemble cast series very well in the cartoons, and very, very well. Better than they ever have done in the movies, and better than they probably will ever do if they ever do. I think it was supposed to be a Star Wars live action series coming sometime down the road. If it's not helmed by him, like overseeing it, it's not going to be good. Like, he does a very good job with giving characters life and then fully fleshing them out and giving them basically a different vibe or different feel. Like, the Bad Batch for me growing up as a kid would have been one of those things I would have talked about at school, me and my friends would have been into, and we all would have ID associated with one of the members to be like, oh no, I'm this such, and we would have played in the playground pretending to be those guys. So, and that's
like when I was Donatello.
Right. That's a cool thing for me. Is that, Donatello was the man. Do not disperse Donatello.
Michelangelo, Leonardo, Donatello.
Leonardo's dope.
Yeah.
Raphael.
I love it.
Piss people off by saying
the party
that.
kid.
I love Raphael too.
the number one.
Or the angry kid.
right. So yes, I'm here for it, man. The Bad Batch. It has been renewed for season 2, so we're going to get more of that good stuff, and I'm here for it. Jaron, I know you only got through.
Jaron, before you shit on the animation, there is an actual thing on YouTube where it shows from of the Clone Wars from season 1 to season 6 and how much better, because they didn't have a budget in season 1 and now they have a budget in season 6, and how much better and more fluid the animation gets. Like, it's night and day.
They're starting over with this one at season 1 of that one. Is that what you're saying?
It's a TV show.
One day it'll get better.
No, it's still good. You're just bad and wrong.
No,
so,
yeah,
go ahead and say what you're going to say, and we'll just ignore you.
All right.
We'll talk amongst ourselves while Jaron does something.
First and foremost, I am not a huge Star Wars fan. Let's just get that right out in the open. I haven't read the novels. I don't know what's canon or not canon. I don't when somebody in fucking in the Mandalorian, which I fucking enjoyed the shit out of, when they mention some general something or other that is not been canon because he's a novel character or whatever, and everybody lost their fucking shit. I don't share in that. I don't understand it. I am a fan of the idea of a Star Wars story happening without a goddamn Skywalker shoveled into it. I'm a big fan of that. All the Star Wars that I've liked were the ones that didn't have a Skywalker shoveled into it. I really liked Halo Reach. Which Star Wars was that? That
was 5.
Yeah. And a Solo story was all right, minus the stupid naming convention. But it was a heist movie. It was fun for what it was.
I gotta share something since we're talking about Star Trek.
The animation rigs in this are so fucking tragic that when a character smiles, it looks like it's a broken terror doll that would stare at you in the darkened room of an aunt who you're having to stay with because your parents were murdered or something. It's fucked. In the very first episode, the clearly evil stormtrooper in the group decided he was going to go be evil. I was like, oh my God, they couldn't have telegraphed that anymore. I get it's a children's show, so evil guy going to be evil. But I mean, come on. They could have hit him a little bit. And I only got to episode 4. So if that guy comes around and he has like an amazing character growth and comes back to the batch and is awesome and not a dick anymore or something.
Oh no, he's still a dick. That's great.
Okay.
But he says why he's a dick.
Okay. But I mean, if they explain it and it's adequate, I mean, great. I can't hate on it. I'm only in, I got to the one where the little girl was like trying to, like, they were all getting people off a planet, and that, you know, that one, what, episode 4 or 5, 3, 4 or 5, one of those. Anyway,
they were on Ryloth and they're trying to get the Twi'leks off the planet. Come on, Jared, Jesus Christ.
Sure. I mean, if you had said, you know, Klingons off of, you know, Tarak Nor, I would have been like, yeah, sure. No,
what?
Come on, that's their home world. You don't rescue people from their home world.
If it's going to explode, they do.
All right. Is that what was happening? I thought there was like an invading force there that was like enslaving him or something. I thought, yeah, I don't know. Based on what both of you have said, I will revisit this. I will hate watch it all the way to the end of season 1, just so that I can see the story. Because I mean, listen, I'll be here for a story, but I'm a visual guy first and foremost. So in that scenario, oftentimes I will endure a absolute garbage story because the visuals are so good. In this scenario, I'm going to try to like grow a little bit, and I'm going to endure tragic visuals to, you know, see how the story plans out. So just because you guys have so much love for it, I got to give it. I mean, I respect both of your opinions. So if you both are in agreement that this is good, I'll revisit it. I'll give it its due. Buffy still sucks, but you know, you guys can't be wrong about 2 things, right? So
parts of Buffy sucks. Speaking of a solo story, I picked this up at Dragon Con. It's
hey,
by Jim Meshling. I buy a lot of his artwork. Jim Meshling, he's really, really good.
That's what's
nice.
This thing is going to be hanging up in my.
Got that Darnold Glover.
Yeah,
Lando
looking
best part of solo story.
Oh, he was great. He fucking nailed that character. Oh, I love that. Yeah. And again, I liked the Halo Reach. It had It Man in it, so you know it was good stuff. Bringing it back,
Rebel 1.
Bringing it back.
Oh, I know exactly what it is.
Rogue One. He means Rogue One.
Rogue One.
Even though Rebel 1 did have a Skywalker in it, but anyway,
did Rogue One?
Yeah, it had Princess
Leia. Very end. Yeah. Okay. Because it was running into the other movie.
And Vader. He's a Skywalker.
Yeah, I mean, technically, yes. Vader is
but he was like tacked on. He was a post-credit Marvel sequence. He wasn't like part of the movie.
It was like, oh, what can we do to get people to jizz in their pants? Oh, we'll just have Darth Vader fuck up some dudes.
Okay, I call it Halo Reach because that game, you knew everybody was going to die in it.
Halo.
But they made you fall, like they made you enjoy these characters throughout the entire game, knowing full well they were going to get glassed in that planet, and they were donezo. They weren't coming out of it. Just like Rogue One, right? Yeah, those guys. You're like, oh, y'all motherfuckers are so extra dead. But by the end of it, you cared for them. You were like, oh, that sucks. I want
a new rule on the show that Jaren is no longer allowed to talk Star Wars, which is going to.
I'm cool with it.
When we do
Star Wars, I'm fine. I've been watching your dumb shows.
Yep. Thank fucking Christ.
She's going to just do that. Just going to make that the rule of thumb. So when a new Mandalorian comes out,
whoa! I'll talk about Mandalorian. I got love for Mandalorian.
You got to take it all. Take none of it at all. So, yeah.
You guys both worked in restaurants way back in the day, right? So you remember that guy that always did side work really bad so that people would stop asking him to do. Hopefully, he wouldn't have to do more side work.
Papado, we didn't have side work.
Hey,
you have side work at Papado?
No, nope. All we had to do was clean our tables and we were out.
Stop.
Though I have done side work at other restaurants, and I know who you're talking about. But the restaurant that me and Jason have in common, we didn't have.
Gotcha. No side work. That should be They should advertise that for. Like that should be on the application.
Well, unlimited tip pool. That shit's up to like
home of no side work.
$100 in tip pool one time. That made me hurt.
Oh, you worked the double or all day, a triple?
Yep.
Yeah.
That was actually a Friday night because they got rid of unlimited tip pool like when I was 3 years in. So, or they made because they used to cap it at $35.
Yeah, I remember that. That's when I was there. Yeah. Oh wow.
No. Yeah,
that's a
long
long
Friday
night.
night paying out $100 to other employees.
I wouldn't want to be part of a tip pool at all. That sounds horrible.
Automatically take it out. That's ours. Thank you.
Horrible.
Yeah. All right. What Jason? What would you rating for Star Wars Bad Batch?
5 out of 5.
1.
8 out of 5.
I'm gonna give it a 4.5. I'll give it a 4.5. Jaren, okay. Jaren gave it a 1. So
1 out of 5.
I'm gonna balance out that 5. It's 4.5.
Do
that other 0.5 for Jason.
If I go 1 and you go 5, and Jason's the only one that counts.
It's 4.5 there. And, plus, Jaren off his 4 episodes of watching. So take that 1 with a grain of salt, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
All